She was born into shadows and glamour. Susan Berman, daughter of Las Vegas mob royalty, raised among roulette wheels, secrets, and starlets. But decades later, the past would come calling and kill her. Susan Jane Berman was born on May 18, 1945, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Her mother, Betty Ewald, had once been a dancer who toured the country under the stage name Gladys Evans. Her father, Davie Berman, was no ordinary man. He was a powerful figure in Jewish American organized crime. When Susan was only 2 months old, the family moved to Las Vegas, where Davie Berman became instrumental in turning the desert into the neon-lit empire of vice. After the 1947 assassination of Bugsy Siegel, Berman stepped in to help run the Flamingo Hotel. He was deeply connected to the Chicago outfit and worked alongside other mafia figures in controlling the burgeoning casino business. Susan's childhood was anything but normal. She was surrounded by bodyguards, chauffeured in Cadillacs, and rubbed shoulders with entertainers like Elvis Presley and Liberace. But behind the glitz lay violence and fear. She once told reporters she grew up believing the Mafia was a secret club that protected people, but Susan's gilded world collapsed in her early teens. When she was 12 years old, her father died during a routine surgery. Susan would always suspect foul play, though official reports cited a heart attack. Just a year later, her mother was found dead of an apparent drug overdose, believed to be suicide. Now orphaned, Susan was bounced around relatives, eventually attending boarding school, and then UCLA, where she majored in English. It was there, in the late 1960s, that she met a quiet, socially awkward classmate named Robert Durst, the son of a powerful New York real estate magnate. The two formed a close, lifelong friendship. Susan went on to earn a master's degree in journalism from UC Berkeley in 1969 and quickly built a name for herself. In the 70s and 80s, she became a respected journalist, writing for the San Francisco Examiner, New York Magazine, and Cosmopolitan. She appeared on TV and even co-wrote a documentary, Lady Las Vegas, for A&E. Her 1981 memoir, Easy Street, offered a revealing look at growing up mobbed up. Critics praised its raw honesty. Hollywood came knocking, and the movie rights sold for $350,000. But the film was never made. In 1984, Susan married Christopher, Mr. Margulies, at the Hotel Bel Air. Her best friend Robert Durst walked her down the aisle, but the marriage was short-lived. Margulies died of a heroin overdose just 2 years later. By the 1990s, Susan lived in West Hollywood and later in Benedict Canyon, working on television scripts and freelance pieces. She remained close with Durst, even acting as his media spokesperson in 1982, when his wife, Kathleen McCormack Durst, mysteriously disappeared in New York. Susan maintained her loyalty to Durst, but some say she knew more than she let on. In early 2000, Kathleen Durst's case was quietly reopened by Westchester County Dar Janine Pirro. Friends of Kathleen urged police to speak with Susan. She had received $50,000 in cash gifts from Durst that year, money she said helped her out of debt. But behind her trust, there was fear. On December 24, 2000, police found Susan Berman's body in her home. She had been shot once in the back of the head, execution style. There was no forced entry, and nothing was stolen. A cryptic letter arrived at the Beverly Hills Police Department just before her body was discovered. It contained only her address and the word cadaver, with Beverly Hills misspelled. Years later, a handwriting expert would link it to Robert Durst. For more than a decade, Susan's murder went unsolved. But in 2015, with the help of the HBO documentary The Jinx, new evidence emerged, including Durst's apparent confession caught on a hot mic. Killed them all, of course. Durst was arrested in New Orleans just before the series finale aired. In 2021, he stood trial in California for Susan Berman's murder. On September 17, 2021, a jury found Robert Durst guilty of first-degree murder, citing lying in wait and the intent to silence a witness. On October 14, he was sentenced to life in prison. No possibility of parole. Robert Durst died in custody 4 months later, in January 2022. Susan Berman lived a life caught between spectacle and silence, daughter of a gangster, voice for the missing, and ultimately a witness whose truth was worth killing for.